Monday, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for joining us. We're the Hatch Homes Group, and this is our Monday housing market update. Today, we are going to go over a great featured listing, which we're really excited to show you the photos on. And we're going to do a quick 2020 snapshot of the market data. And this report just came out from, let's see, let me share my screen. So this is from it's actually from a place where we get our real estate accreditations done, but it's a snapshot of what to expect in the Oregon real estate market and for 2021. And we've already talked about that. We kind of already talked about our projections a few times, but this shows, I think, kind of a really helpful snapshot of why we're in the market that we are in right now. So it talks about 1 year change on home prices, up 8.5%. So I think we've all felt that way. 1 year forecast up 10.4%, which, that would be the first time that in double digits since 2017?
Yeah.
1 year change in rent.
Sorry, that's the forecast for 2021.
Yeah.
And I think some of that could depend on what the Biden administration does to help first-time home buyers.
Mm-hmm.
There's some promising things there, but depending on how that gets implemented.
Yeah, definitely. But we're already seeing it too right now, just in how the market is right now. 1 year change on rent prices, 3%, up 3%, which is interesting that it's gone up. But this talks about how that's statewide and it's 2.3% in the Portland metro area. And that's an interesting stat just to look at. Like, vacancy rate for single family rental properties is pretty low too, and it has been low. Condos, apartments are a different story, so depending on what you're looking for there. But it's interesting too, because, last year they passed the state and city, they've been passing all those, rental restrictions. You can only increase rent once, once a year, up to a certain max. So when all those changes came out, I was really curious how that was going to affect people that, like, maybe there's landlords that never raised rent, but they were like, well, if I can only do it once a year, maybe I better do it. So they were a little bit more clued into, okay, I'm going to raise it once a year. But then COVID hit. So I know a lot of landlords that just didn't raise rent.
Yeah. I think that the restrictions with rentals raising rental prices year over year is up to 3%. So that makes sense that that's the statistics that it's showing, like you just said, because I think people who never increased it finally got like a green light to do it by 3%. And so that's showing up in the numbers, which is interesting.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the max was per year. So that's interesting. Homes with negative equity, 1.4%. That's really low. That's really low negative equity. I can imagine maybe a few seller or homeowners on condos, but I'm just trying to think about single family having negative equity in this market. Yeah, 1.4% is pretty low. Delinquency on mortgages, that's also extremely low. And so obviously I'm sure that does not factor in forbearance. And that's probably why that's so low, because so many more people are in forbearance, not in delinquent.
Yeah, I like that number because I think that there is a consensus or like a common thought that there's a lot of delinquencies happening because of the pandemic and our, loss of jobs and loss of all sorts of things. And so to see that number actually not be as high as you might think is important to note, that people there's still, the forbearance thing is huge and that people are still able to continue paying their mortgage.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another indicator that we're not heading into the same kind of crisis that we did last time in real estate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you have any questions about those market stats, please let us know. Or if there's any stats that you're particularly interested in us covering, we would love to know. We're actually going to do a special Monday market update on condos in particular, because they do seem to be have a bit of a different life of their own in this market than single family. And we do a lot of condo business. So we are going to do a separate show on that. So stay tuned. But the opposite of condo, we want to share our amazing new listing. It's in Lads Edition. And I think we talked about this last week, maybe also the week before when it was coming soon. But this is our single property website for this amazing property. So it's a historic home in Lads Edition.
Lads Edition is one of the oldest and coolest neighborhoods in Southeast Portland, if you don't already know it.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. Leanne used to live in the neighborhood, so she's our resident Lads Edition expert if you have any questions.
I pride myself on not getting lost in the labyrinth. So
yeah, and I don't. I get lost all the time. So this is offered at 1.1 million. It's 7 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, a half bath. It's pretty large. It's one of the largest plans in the property in the historic plan community at 5,106 square feet. And it's got a good sized lot too. 6,400 square feet lot. That's pretty good for a city property. And you know, like the thing about this home that makes it especially unique is that it's really good for somebody that wants to kind of do their dream house, right? So a lot of the exterior is honestly in pretty good shape, but this home needs a restoration, right? A true somebody that wants to come in that loves, you know, the original character. Like look at those built-ins, leaded glass. I mean, this room is actually huge. And the hardwood floors are gorgeous. The kitchen was redone in the 2000s. And it's got a sweet little powder room. But so the unique part is upstairs, and there's 2 floors. So there's a 3rd floor. And the 3rd floor is actually really spacious, but it needs to be put back together. There's been some demo that has been done, and now it is ready for somebody's imagination to come back. We actually have a bunch of floor plans that we're providing for showings, but it is ready to be put back together and be the most amazing house ever. And I cannot wait to see it completely redone.
It's a fantastic opportunity for some great equity in one of the best neighborhoods in Portland.
Absolutely. I mean,
and the historical nature of it as well. You know, it used to be a boarding house. So that's why it has so many rooms, and they touted those sleeping porches on the 3rd floor as you know, things that people sought after at that point in time. So it's just such a beautiful home.
Yeah, who doesn't want a sleeping porch?
I know.
It's fun to me.
Like I didn't even know that was a thing, but now I want one.
Yeah. Great street too, Elliott. It's a really pretty tree-lined street, really close to the Lad Circle. So yeah, let us know if you know anyone who wants to restore a beautiful home.
Yeah, thanks for viewing those with us. If you look, we can actually comment on this string and put our single property website in, but you can watch the video that we did for this. It was a great video tour. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Have a great week.
Have a good week.